All right, this is your very last video lecture for this class, and I'm going to be working through problem in chapter 12, problem number 1219. It's kind of a fun chapter, looking at, again, still managerial accounting, but what we're doing here is part of the balanced scorecard, and trying to get measures for comparison and performance and so forth. And so in this question, you're given a lot of information. You're given quality control measures, number of defects, number of warranty claims, number of customer complaints, material control measures, machine performance measures, and delivery performance measures. And we don't know what those are yet, so we're going to calculate those. So the first one they ask us for is throughput time. And throughput time, I've already put our information in here that we will need, and we're going to do it for months 1 through 4 because we're looking for a trend. And so we start with our process time per unit, and this is average per month in days, and so we've got 2.1, and I'm pulling this information straight from the problem. I've got inspection time is 0.8, and again this is average per month in days. And then we've got move time per unit, which is 0.3, and then we have queue time per unit, which is 2.8. So if we add all of those together, we have our total throughput time. Now you notice we did not use our wait time before order, or wait time per order before start of production. We'll use that later, but we don't use that on our throughput time. That starts at production. And so I'll just go ahead and put the rest of these numbers in. And I'm still doing videos at home, and behind me, my husband is fishing. So if you hear him yell in a few minutes, it's because he caught what he thinks is a big fish. Okay, so then we've got 1.9, 0.7, 0.4, and 6. And then in month 4, we've got 1.8, 0.7, 0.5, and 7. We'll go ahead and sum those up. So this is our throughput time in days. And we can already see it's increasing. Process is decreasing. Inspection staying about the same. Move time is about the same. Slight increase. Queue time has a significant increase. So we've already kind of determined what's going on there. Then we want to look at our manufacturing cycle efficiency. And this is our process time divided by our total throughput time. So our process time divided by our total throughput time, and that's a percentage. So again, we can kind of see what's going on with our manufacturing cycle efficiency. We're not as efficient as we were. And then our delivery time in days, this is our total throughput time plus our wait time per order. And I don't have that information in my spreadsheet yet, but if I did, it would be 9. And I'm actually going to go ahead and put this right down here. This is wait time per order. That way I can use Excel the way it's supposed to be used and use my cell references. I have a rule when I use Excel. I never put hard numbers in a formula, and I just broke my rule. So we're going to fix that. If you put a hard number in a formula, you can't see the number. And that's why that's a rule that I try to always follow. Well, I had a place for it. And I'm probably going to mess up my formula, but that's okay. I'll fix it. No, my formula carried. Okay, so my total throughput time is 6 plus 9, 7.5 plus 11.5, 9 plus 12, and 10 plus 14. You can see that. This is not total throughput. This is total delivery cycle time. There we go. Okay, so now we've got some information. We've taken some raw data and we've turned it into information. And now they ask us to use the performance measures given in the main body of the problem and the performance measures that you computed to do the following. And it asks us to identify areas where the company seems to be improving and identify areas where the company seems to be deteriorating. So I'm going to look back at my problem, and the first thing I see is my number of defects. My number of defects has gone from 185 to 91, so I had a decrease of 50% over 4 months. That's good. Another thing I see is that my purchase order lead time, I see that it is half of what it was in the first month. And so half in month 4 that it was in month 1. So I see some improvement there. And then I look down at my, what else am I going to look at? So some of the things that I calculated above, I can look at my process time. It went down. So anyway, we get a general idea of what's going on by looking at this. Again, we picked out pretty quickly this queue time per unit is greatly growing, which is causing our manufacturing cycle efficiency to drop. So we need to figure out what's going on with that and work on that. And again, it's a balanced scorecard comparing month to month, comparing plant to plant, comparing unit to unit, product to product, whatever it is, but getting it all in one spot where we can kind of see what's going on. Then they ask us in number 3 to assume that in month 5, so we're going to go over here and we're going to do some assumptions. Assume that in month 5, the inspection time, process time, and so forth are the same except from month 4. So process time, inspection time, except that the company is able to completely eliminate the queue time during production by using lean production. So what does that do to my numbers? The first thing we see that it does is it decreases our total throughput time to 3, which is a huge improvement. And then if we come down here and see what it does to our manufacturing cycle efficiency, again, huge improvement. And I don't think they really ask us to work on this down here, but just say it was still 14, then again, we would see a big improvement in our total delivery cycle time. The quicker we deliver it, the better it is. Then it asks us to assume in month 6 that inspection time, process time, and so forth are the same as 4, except the company is able to eliminate both queue time during production and inspection because they're using lean production. So if that's the case, then they've really improved their operations. Now they're down to 2.3. Their manufacturing cycle efficiency is 78%. And if this is the same, which we might work on that next, then we've dropped our total delivery cycle time as well. So again, this is kind of what the balanced scorecard looks like, and in a way we can measure our performance as we talk about in Chapter 12. So for the very last video that I'm doing, I thought it might be kind of fun for you to see me and see the dog you hear barking in the background quite often. This is Miko. Miko is a Pomsky, and for those of you that have Coach Taylor as a coach, he is her dog. He's my grand dog. Anyway, he's the one you hear in the background sometimes. It's been a fun class. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, let me know.